Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host, Muhammad Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co-author of New Success Secrets available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a special guest, Rhonda Delaney. Rhonda is the host of Leadership Simplified podcast. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Rhonda Delaney. Rhonda, welcome.
Thank you. Delighted to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much. I like the name is Leadership Simplified, and when I read your LinkedIn profile, you say you help cultivate new leaders and grow teams of raving fans.
Yep.
And
And leadership is simple. I'm going to be 62 this year, and I feel like I've been leading since kindergarten. And it's just accepting people as they are and helping them be the best that they can be. Quit worrying about all the other stuff. Just care about and be interested in every single person that you lead. All of the other metrics and all of the other things will look after themselves if your people are happy and engaged in what they're doing, and they feel seen and they feel heard and they feel valued. So if you focus your time on that, your team is going to produce beyond your expectation and your company's expectation. So it really is simple.
it's definitely seems like it's a simple. However, when you see in the world, I'm not getting political here. It's not simple,
Well, our human nature gets in the way because often our human nature thinks that it's all about us, and it's not. When you're leading people, it's all about them. It's always been about them. And if you can make sure that that's where your mind and your heart and your energy is focused, leadership does become simple, because the drama and the frustration and the infighting and all of that kind of stuff dissipates because people are actually enjoying what they're doing, because they're in the right spot, because they're doing the things that mean something to them.
Yeah. Rhonda, based on your leadership experience, and let's get to know your story. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to start a Leadership Simplified podcast? And I want to go back, that inspired you to start cultivating a new leaders.
Okay, well, I worked in corporate for 15 years and then was summarily canceled when I was 58 years old. And it was like, I'm too young to retire. Like I need to do something. And so at first, I created an online course for new leaders. And that's what all of like my podcast, my philosophy, everything is based on. And I have felt for years and years that new leaders are so valued and they're underrepresented when it comes to training, when it comes to companies investing in them. There always seemed to be money for C-suite. There was money for mid-level management, but the new leader was overlooked. And often that new leader happened to be somebody that was excelling technically, right? They were the highest producing salesperson. And then it was like, well, great, we're going to make you the manager of the sales department and you go and lead these people. And they didn't know anything about leadership. They didn't know how to lead people. And so now you had somebody that was at the top of their game and really excited and engaged in what they were doing. And now they hate their job because they don't know what they're doing and they don't feel like they're contributing the same way. Well, we shouldn't expect people to know how to do tasks that they've never done before. And leading people, it can get messy sometimes, right? It's not always easy. It is simple if you just focus on each person. And so I'm an avid gardener, and in my 15 years of corporate, I brought a lot of gardening tenets to my leadership. And one of the most impactful was a gardener understands that if a plant is not thriving or doing well, it's the gardener's fault. It's not the plant. The gardener doesn't have it in the right spot, or is not watering it as they should, or the nutrients in the soil aren't what is needed. And so the gardener takes total ownership and making sure that that plant has everything to survive. I feel the same way about leadership. A leader is 100% responsible in making sure that each person is in the right spot and getting what they need in order to thrive. The other thing that I learned is, you know, those little seed packets that you can buy? So you buy it and you've got a sunflower on that seed packet. A gardener understands that when they plant that seed, there is no chance that a rose is going to grow. They know they are going to get a sunflower. And yet we as human beings, we expect people to be different or just not who they are. We have these expectations like, why do we expect people to be other than innately who they are? So learning to just embrace and find all that beautiful uniqueness that is the human being that you lead, and figuring out what's the best spot for them. So that's kind of how my philosophy has come through, and why I really believe that leadership is simple if we simply focus on the people that we're leading.
Wonderful. That leads to my question. We like to know, learn from your experience of creating new leaders. What are the top 3 missteps to avoid being a leader?
Well, I do believe that the first one is focusing on your title and yourself. It doesn't mean anything, and it just doesn't. The other thing that I know is a detriment is if you are unwilling to delegate. Delegation is a gift. And a lot of newer leaders, they think that if they delegate, that other people are going to think that they're lazy or they're incompetent or they're control freaks. You know, we can't move that off. But by delegating, you are giving the opportunity of someone on your team to actually grow and take on something that they're excited about. And when it comes to delegation, what you're wanting to do is make sure that you're delegating a task that you know that person loves to do, or that person has the skill set to do, and they'll grab hold of it and away they go. And I think the other misstep is the micromanaging part. Trust your team to do what you've asked them to do. I am a full believer in trust first. Nobody has to earn their trust. From my perspective, I give trust freely. If they take actions and do things that show to me that trust is misplaced, then I will remove that trust. But right up front, if you've explained things, I talked to you earlier about clarity. I'm huge on clarity. If they understand what's required, they have the skill set to do it, let them be and do it. So those are my 3.
Yeah, wonderful. That's a good, like, it seems like similar to innocent until proven guilty. So here
Yeah.
society puts you guilty first and innocent later. You know, it's completely the opposite, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you trust, when you give trust, what that does is it relaxes the person to actually, okay, they believe that I can do this. So it's another part of encouragement of helping somebody go, okay, yeah, no, they've given this to me. They believe that I can do it. So I'm going to do this.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think about trust and verify process?
When you make that statement, you're talking about people, or are you talking about tasks?
People.
Well, I think in my process, the verifying is happening continually as you continue to give them opportunity. Then they verify through their actions, and there's no question that when you pull back the trust, if it's been broken, you verified that the trust that you gave was incorrect. I guess is the word. But you know what? The other thing is people just need to relax. I mean, seriously, how many decisions or how many errors or how many problems are earth shattering? Seriously, right? Yeah, they might be inconvenient. They might be troublesome, but really in the big picture, none of them are worth getting super bent out of shape about. So,
okay, Rhonda, what are the top 3 success secrets of a true leader?
For me, be interested. That to me is right now in my world as it continues to grow and evolve is absolutely vital, because to be interested is a prerequisite to caring. And if you don't care about your people, if you don't care about the success of your people, you are not going to have a team of people that are engaged and performing well. And so you're not going to feel fulfilled in your role. Being interested, and that means being interested in their whole being, their whole life. You don't have to become best buddies, and you don't have to see each other outside of work, and you can absolutely, but you have to be interested in their life, be interested in what they're interested in. And so you need to be curious, you need to be attentive, you need to be inquisitive. You don't have to be obnoxious and about the questions, but just probe, find out about them, find out about what makes them tick, so that you have the information you need in order to put them in the best position to be able to utilize the skills that they have. So be interested. And again, trust. You have to trust and delegate. Delegation is so important. That is it's a big deal with people. And the third one is to invite questions. Something that I did in corporate is I created an environment of everybody understood how important it was to question everything. Not to question the people, but to question, why are we doing what we're doing?
Yeah.
And is there a different way we can do it? Is there a better way that we can do it? So having people critically thinking as they're going through their workday, as they're observing what's going on in the company, understanding that their tasks are affecting other departments. And is there a way that we can minimize any negative effect and amplify any positive effect? And so many leaders are really hesitant to allow people to question. And yet you are able, when you invite the questioning, you are able to actually gather information that will help you to the best solution. Not just a good one, but the best one, because you have all of this creative power and energy, experience, knowledge, insight from a larger group of people that are looking at things from all different perspectives. So yeah, invite the questions.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. So we are about to wrap up. I appreciate how the growth hacking secrets community people are watching this now can support you.
Uh, I think one of the things is to absolutely share the podcast. I mentioned to you earlier, one of my the only metric really that I'm following with the podcast is having listeners in many countries. Right now we're at 48 countries. There's lots more countries in the world, and we as human beings, doesn't matter where we live in this world, we still have that innate desire to belong, to be part of a group, to be part of a community, to be part of a team. So the podcast. The other thing is communicating with me if you feel that there's somebody that you've come across that would be a great guest on my podcast. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to have people from around the world on my podcast. I've had folks from India, from South Africa, from England, from Australia, from Brazil. So I love having an international flavor because we want to listen. So for me, that is, and then any businesses that you run across that they need help, because a lot of new business owners, they might start out as a solopreneur and then they have 2 employees, 3 employees, 5, and they're going, what do I do with these people? How do I do this? Right? Because they're focused on the technical aspect that they actually started the business. I'm making widgets, but now I've got all these people, but I want to focus on making widgets. And what do I do with these people? So if there's any companies that that's the reality there, or companies that just have a really toxic, unhealthy environment. So those are the ones for me. I'm very passionate about my podcast because it is a resource for new leaders. Just like you, I have guests share 3 actionable steps. So a leader can go into their work and they can actually take one of those steps and start to implement them. So
Okay.
I would say that's how.
Yeah, wonderful. Your website is Rhonda, Rhonda
Yep.
Delaney.com. Okay, I spell it for you so that way you don't have to worry about how to spell. It's also on your screen right now. RhondaDelaney.com. Visit the site. It's a great looking site, and start engaging on the podcast and connect with her on LinkedIn as well. Rhonda Delaney, we are about to wrap up. What would you share as your today's guest experience on a growth hacking secret show to you?
I think you have a heart that's very like mine, that is warm and is inviting, and your clarity about your mission and what it is that you want to provide for your audience is beautiful in its simplicity, and your interest in helping others to become exposed to thoughts, perspective, experiences of other people that can help them, I think is admirable. So this has been a great experience.
Thank you for your kind words. Really appreciate it. What would you say as a final word, Rhonda?
Be interested.
Be interested.
Be interested. And it's a choice. It's a choice, right? And you need to choose to be interested in every single person that you lead, and just even being interested in life, right?
Be interested. Thank you so much, Rhonda Delaney, for sharing
You're
your
welcome.
today on the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Muhammad Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the next episode, all good wishes.